Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rex, aka Vibes, and I'm here with my brothers, my compadres. But before that, we want to thank you guys for spending this Tuesday night with us. And welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man, Mr. El Jefe and Mr. Glass Half Full. Hold on, wait. That's Speed if you nasty now. All right.
Ooh.
Hold on, wait. And I kind of screwed this up because when I say El Jefe, we're talking about AKA white jersey, AKA blue jersey, AKA El Jefe, AKA Damn it, Daniel, AKA fresh back from vacation. That's why you see his face is all tan. But that's El Jefe.
Oh, this is mid-vacation, baby.
You see that?
That's just peak. That's peak vacation right
That's
there.
the mid. Yo,
If a haircut,
great,
this is like I went to a barber and said, "Just give me a vacation. Just give me a vacation out there." That's what this.
You even
is.
there's a fun haircut too. It's just like a relaxed, fun deal.
This
man.
is
You're
it almost
just living life.
this is from the ocean did this because when I came out with Spiro, he was like, "Whoa, look at you, bro," and I was like, "What? What do you mean, look at me?" I'm like, "Oh, I have not looked at myself all day, huh? Look at that."
You woke up like that. You woke
Listen,
up like
bro,
that.
you have a glow right now. It's a glow to you. It just looks great, man. Look real relaxed, and I love it.
I'm
am.
jelly.
I got the week off. That's why I'm going to camp, Giants camp tomorrow. I'm going to Fan Fest Friday. I'm just doing the shit that you don't get to do when you gotta like pay bills and stuff. So I'm just doing everything I want to do this week.
Hey, listen, man, and enjoy every minute of it. You know what I mean?
I think Jeff's he's popping his camp cherry from what I've been told here. Like first time at camp here. So let's give him a round of applause.
Round of applause.
Good job.
I'm really excited. I see all these videos from camp. I'm like, I got to get my ass there. It just looks too fun. Looks too good. I'm going to Fan Fest. I did that last year, but I'm ready. I'm ready for camp. I'm ready for the real thing.
Listen, bro, you're gonna have a good time, man. It's great. I mean, I went to training camp way before they put those bleachers up. Like that, that's how long ago it was.
Yeah,
they kind of just sit around the
gate.
Those
up in Albany, dude.
Oh, I never been there. Like I'm jealous, man. And this is, and we got to go around the room here. I'm sorry, guys, because we're just talking like there's nobody here watching this thing. But we're gonna go around the room, and I'm gonna start with Mr. Glass Half Full, man. How's your week going? How's your weekend? How's everything, brother? You got special guests? Like we lit right now. What's going on,
dude? I can't wait to bring in our special guest here. We're gonna talk some Yankee baseball, but talking about the baseball right now has got me a little bit pissed off because, and I'm gonna vent a little bit here because. The Mets were cruising into the trade deadline in first place. They got themselves a 3-game lead. Jacob deGrom's coming back. Things were just lining up. And all they needed to do was get a couple pieces. Get a lefty in the bullpen. Get a nice hitter for the lineup. Not many things. There's like 2 or 3 things I could have put on the list. The Mets, they got themselves a 36-year-old part-time DH. And a righty in the bullpen, and I'm just really frustrated because the trade deadline for me, man, it's something that like so. Imagine you're in a battle and you've been fighting 3/4 of this battle. You've been holding the troops together. You've been doing good, and then you expect that second wave to come back and give you a reinforcement, give you a breath because you've been battling so hard for so long. That second wave is not coming for the Mets right now, and that's what sucks, man. They were battling for the whole first half of the season, and you expected to get some help, and they got no help because Billy Epler, he fucked up. He fucked up bad, and we're gonna talk about what.
Hero, you are a mess, bro.
You are red, bro.
So tight. I was so happy. Like today was gonna be like the day. Like we're like okay. We're gonna get we're gonna see what our team looks like in the second half. It's gonna be the team that takes us to the World Series. Now he took the wind out of sails. Jacob deGrom's back, so it's good. But we're gonna talk to our guest here, and he's gonna show us what a real team does in the Yankees. And they had themselves an awesome trade deadline. But they're part of New York, so we're rooting for them. I'm just a little angry, boys. Sorry.
I
just hit the fan.
I mean, I haven't seen you this upset since like the 70s. I think
you know what? Yeah, it feels good to get that off my chest though, because I had to get it.
Yeah,
I have to just get it out there for
That's what this is.
It's all right. Yo, bro,
TK's right. We're gonna talk Giants. We're gonna talk Giants later too.
We'll get there, TK.
Okay.
Don't worry, man. We're gonna talk some football. We're gonna talk Giants football, especially, guys. So trust me. Let's hang out a little bit, man. Get your beer, grab a chair. You know how this works, man.
Sit back.
And then we gotta go with El Jefe. What's going on, man? How was your weekend? I don't even want to ask because I'm jealous. But how was everything, man? Come on.
When we're on the phone today, I was on the beach with my wife. I mean, I'm living life this week. I took
kicking back.
I'm just doing everything I want. This is for 1 week only, and then this is like one night only. Went to Sesame Place yesterday, which was wild. I mean, what a party! That was just great.
Fun place, man.
Beach today, Giants tomorrow, Giants Friday. It's a good week, man. I'm in a good place right now, and these are going down with no fight whatsoever. M. Light Shyamalan.
Hey, cheers to everybody out there, by the way. Let's go. Let's get cheers. All right.
Cheers,
listen, E, how about we get the brass tacks here? How about we bring in our guest and we start talking about some important things that are going on? What do you say?
No, let's do that. So, guys, we have a special guest lined up, man. Mr. Funny Man, Mr. Ballbuster. Will Presti's in the building, guys. What's going on, man? The comedian himself.
What's up? Thank you very much.
Round of applause. Round of applause.
You know, I wish I lived in an era where people actually did this and it wasn't.
I know. Hey,
I still do. You know those old movies or the ones where they just go like this? You ever see that? Yes. Italian, like, yes, thank you. I don't know what that, those old timey when they would say things like whippersnapper or like scoundrel, I don't know.
You know what I want to come back is when somebody says something good, you're in a group, you go, here.
Here. See, that's what I like. Here kind of goes with.
That's from the same era.
Yes,
yeah.
It is. That same guy did that.
I think we should do this on the show from now on.
This is the same.
After every Giants win, we go here.
First down. Here.
Right now, there's one 80-year-old guy watching us going, I get that one.
I wrote that.
So, speaking of 80-year-old men, one of us forgot to plug our computer in, and his computer's about to die. I'm not going to say who it is, but I'll be right back.
And that's Will, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Will. Thank you for coming.
Listen,
Will. Here.
Will's a professional, and he's a pro's pro. He's going to get back here and give us his there he is. Look, done. He's already here.
Sorry, I was just
listen, Will, I want to talk about a couple things, man. I see you're a huge Yankee fan, and not too long ago, me and El Jefe was at a bar with this guy watching the Subway Series, and boy, we had egg on our face, me and El Jefe here. So you're a big Yankee fan. The Yankees are hot right now. Tell me, man, what's going through your mind? What's the emotions? I mean, is this regular for us at this point? But what's going on, man? Like, whoa, Aaron Judge having a great freaking year. I mean, come on. Just give me your thoughts on it.
Having a great year. I mean, is it regular for us? Unfortunately, the norm for the Yankees over the past decade or so is for this to be fairly regular and then to have it fall apart a little bit at the end, which is why I think you're seeing some of the pieces they brought in at the trade deadline, trying to really make that postseason roster what it is. The Mets series, look, I said this on Twitter, and I think Mets fans thought I was making excuses. I couldn't be more honest. I said, look, it was a 2-game series. It wasn't like a typical sweep, right? Yankees and the Mets are both top 5 teams in baseball. The rotation lined up better for the Mets in that series than the Yankees. Stanton's out, who's our second best player. We had just lost King, who's our second best reliever. It was at Citi Field. So I wasn't surprised by the outcome at all. If you had asked me what would have happened before that series, losing both to the Mets wouldn't have been, out of the realm of possibility at all. And people like, cry about it, make excuses. Not an excuse. That's just what I think. It's, I wanted to say, by the way, me leaving just now, my computer wasn't plugged in. I was just going to bail on Eli like he bailed on me last time. Eli, if you guys don't know, I came on my first appearance of the show. I didn't care about seeing half or glass half full. I just wanted to see Eli. I'm just making enemies all over the place right now.
Let's go. No, hey, Eli, he's the main man. He's the main event right here.
I'm just kidding. He's okay. No, and then all of a sudden, all right, I gotta go. They're like, Will Presti's coming up. You still gotta go? He's like, yeah.
0 fucks given. It's just like,
So this time, a lot of rumors are going around. Like today was the trade rumors. Today, I was hearing rumors. Eli was asking to get out of this any way he could. He was calling his friend, "Hey, do you need help moving? Does anybody need a ride from the airport?" He just wanted to do anything he could to not.
I'm painting.
Hey, you got any chores?
I was painting too.
Do we have to retile the floors by any chance?
I've been meaning to do that since 3 years ago. Let me start
great.
tonight.
I love the haircut. You look like a karate instructor from like a dojo where you don't know if he's really certified. You know what I mean?
You want to catch a roundhouse kick to the face for the guy with this haircut? I don't think so.
I'm saying like he like hits the kids too hard.
Yes, right. A little bit hesitant. Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just intimidated by you, and this is my defense mechanism because the haircut is just intimidating. I don't know.
Well,
Mr. Glass Half Full, I got to know, man. Given the way you were opening the show today, glass half full of what? I mean, what do you know? That's I
am overall. I'm still positive because listen, we still have Jacob deGrom. We still come back. We have Max. We have a good pitching staff. We have a good team. I just wanted that second wind, that second wave to come in to help.
Yeah.
This, and that's what I was saying. I need to get that off my chest because like we were all expecting that, and then we got so let down today. And so that's why I had to recharge my batteries. I had to get it off to the people right there. Like you guys helped me through this. I'm still confident because we're in first place. Yep. We have a good team. But I wanted a better one. I wanted that perfect roster, and I want me down.
What was the first thing? What was the number one thing you were hoping for?
A little bullpen help. A lefty out of the bullpen, which we don't have, and we still don't have. And now we're going to be scrambling and hoping for the best. We got Trevor May coming back from injury. We got to hope Edwin Diaz has the same second half as he had the first half, which is
right.
It's asking a lot. It's asking a lot to have. Hey, just have a Cy Young season. Go out and have a Cy Young season. No, you wanted help so that there was going to be some fall off here and there. You wanted the other guys to pick it up, and the Mets didn't do it. And then juxtapose that to what the Yankees did, which Mr. Cashman's like cash god, dude. Cash god at the trade deadline. I swear to God, he has something on every single GM, I feel like, because all the GMs are like, yeah, here, take our best players. Give me back whatever you feel like. I don't even give a shit.
I felt like I don't know what you guys felt like Yankee fans, but I felt that the deadline went really, really well. Gallo, it just wasn't a good fit. It wasn't a good fit. Never had anything personally against him, but I'm hoping better things for him, and I'm hoping better things for us after the split. We replace him with Benintendi, essentially. Got some relievers, got Montas. Was feeling really, really great. And I don't want like today to be the dessert that like wasn't good, that kind of messes up like how you feel about the whole restaurant, but the whole meal. But the Montgomery move was very puzzling to give up a solid number, 4, let's say, pitcher to bring in another outfielder when we have plenty of outfielders. And I know we don't want to go too Yankee heavy here, but I just think they're putting a ton of belief in Severino coming back and being that starter for you when he's so injury prone that I don't know that we should be putting that much faith in him being like that extra, that final starter for us in the postseason. So
that's fair. I mean, listen, these are the kind of things that you have to worry about now. And you got Montas, and did you guys pick up another pitcher? No,
we got a few relievers whose names are weird. Ifas with like 3 Fs.
Yeah, but he's apparently good. Apparently he's a good player, and you got him under control for like 5 more years. So
3 O's or 2 U's?
Yeah, he's got a couple of F's, a couple of S's
in there. Yeah.
Is that a 9? They catch a 9. But no, listen. Right now, all you Yankees are doing is just like sharpening the edges. Like you guys are cruising right now. But so like the second half for Yankee fans, it's going to be a little boring because you guys are just smoking the competition in the AL East. The only thing you guys got to do is wrap up home field. Now, as a Yankee fan, because I'm not used to this, you guys casually walk through the second half typically to the playoffs. What are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to seeing Cole round into shape, Montas to see how he does? Judge he's at 41 homers already. He's going for that Maris record. First of all, talk about the Maris record too while you're at it. Yeah. And what the real home run record is in your opinion. So,
well, no, I mentioned this to you. It's more of a debate. I don't exactly know what my answer is. MLB's home run record, and it's a very controversial topic for some reason, but just if you look at it statistically, it's a mess, the single season home run record, because some people say it's Ruth, some people say it's Maris, some people say it's Bonds, because the case for Ruth. He's still the only guy ever to hit 60 home runs in his 154 games without taking PEDs. If we all want to just go ahead and say that.
He was on something, though. Come on. They were jacked up on all kinds of shit back then. We just didn't know what they were.
Babe Ruth? He was jacked up on hot dogs and beers.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
But it was pre-integration. It was a different era. People say that cancels it out. On the other hand, the stadiums were so huge back then. He was hitting 485-foot outs at home. There's a guy wrote a book where he says that if you look at where his balls landed, where Babe Ruth's like fly balls landed and home runs landed that year, in 1921, let's say, he would have hit 104 home runs in today's average size park. But again, pre-integration, like the game is so different, it's hard to judge. Then you got Maris, who hit 61, but it took him 163 games. They had like an extra game that year, a weird thing.
Fun fact.
And then some people say Bonds and those guys, while everybody was taking
one.
No. Whatever. But so I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Though. If you asked everybody, I put up a poll the other day, and it's basically split between those three guys. So the best thing would be if Judge hit 74 home runs this year.
Right.
And then there's everybody, okay, it's post-integration, it's not PEDs, it's 160 whatever games. Like that
Will, where do you land on that?
He's not gonna hit that many.
Where do you land on that? Who's your home run
Me?
champ?
I honestly don't know. I can't do Bonds just because of I'm like a rules guy, and I know they say he never technically tested, but there are articles where he did test positive. It's tough. It's like you can't fault Ruth because of the league he played in. It wasn't his fault. He didn't say these players over there, these players over here, and so I really don't know. But it's interesting. People don't realize, I don't think, that Roger Maris's record wasn't considered. There was an asterisk there for years. So I think even when Maris died, he didn't officially have the record. There was an asterisk next to it. So it's
61 is a good show on HBO, by the way. If anybody hasn't watched that,
it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Billy Crystal.
Yeah, 61. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good movie back in the day. But what was the asterisk with Maris?
Well, because he didn't hit 60 like Ruth in 154 games. And in fact, he didn't even hit 61 until the 163rd game. So they were still preserving the fact that Ruth hit 60 in 154 because Ruth had a shorter schedule. So he didn't have those extra 8 games.
I just want to throw a curveball here. Baseball.
Let's see what he did.
Hey,
but I'm kind of with Sarge on this one. Baseball is it's hurting, right? Like it's losing the younger generation because it's a slow game. It's America's pastime. It's kind of a traditional American sport, and it can't compete with the exciting other sports that are going on. Mm-hmm. If they were to just release the hounds and make steroids legal, there would be all of the records that were like non-steroids. You guys, you win. Okay. We're going to start a new book now where steroids are legal. We're going to have fucking 100 home runs by the best hitters in the game. And that's how you get fans back.
Dennis Miller used to say that. He's like, I want my athletes with tails. Okay. I want them growing into beasts. But the problem with that, Hefe, steroids are illegal in America. Like, it's not like with it.
Exactly.
You can't just take that's the thing when people say, well, roids weren't illegal in baseball. You can't, you can't fault those guys. But they were illegal in the United States.
No roids.
Murder isn't illegal in baseball, but you can't shoot somebody on the field.
My buddy Duke just texted me something. He said, "What about bringing metal bats back?" I mean, granted, pitchers will be getting their heads knocked off, but there'll be more home runs, and they're not illegal in America.
Were metal bats
aluminum,
ever
whatever.
in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, when he said back, I don't think maybe college baseball.
College baseball.
They're still legal. They're still legal in college baseball.
Yeah. I never
saying bring them back. I don't think there was ever.
Oh, I'm sorry, not back.
Oh.
Yes,
bring them to the pros. Sorry, geez,
cool.
one word slip and Spiro just jumps all over.
We're being very dramatic.
So, what do you guys think?
I mean, what are awesome.
What are your guys' take on the home run record? I mean, what do you go with there?
Maris.
Give us who do you think is your guy? What do you got?
I don't know, you guys. It's hard to tell, right? But Will, you kind of made a compelling argument as far as if you want to look at natural way, you can't help what league Babe Ruth played in. So I think that's why they hold him up to a higher regard, that he is that record. You got to say Babe Ruth, right? You got to say it. You have to say it just because of that. So I would say Babe Ruth, man, just because of that.
It's tough. So many people disqualify it, and they get really mad. Like it's they're like anything that happened, and I get it. There were 2 leagues, integrated leagues. So it's kind of like not everybody was allowed to play. So how can any of that stuff be considered legitimate? I don't know. I mean, most people consider Maris. I think they just say, okay, it took him longer games or whatever, but it was clean. He's the home run record holder, but
they went through a lot of shit too. Like if you ever watched it, like he had the Yankee fans were basically against him breaking Ruth's record and against him. Like, he was a second fiddle to Mantle on the same team. Yeah. So, like, that guy earned every bit of his home run record. That's why I kind of like – I think it's legitimate.
I will say, like, baseball is kind of, it's by so far, like, 4th place on my list of, like, favorite sports and, like, my favorite teams and everything. But the last time for me, like, a casual baseball fan, the last time baseball was must-watch TV was McGuire and Sosa.
In 98,
yeah.
Right? I was putting on the TV, like, I got to see it. I want to see it. Like, I was like, baseball has not had that kind of excitement.
It's funny. Like, I always look at it like this. Like,
you got
football
is cheating anyway. You may as well have fun and cheat.
Football's like the Lamborghini, right? It's like the Ferrari. It's high octane. It's dominates. Energy, it's testosterone. Yeah. It's exciting. That's what you're getting on football on Sunday. On football Sundays. Baseball is kind of like the 57 Chevy. You know what I mean? It's nostalgia.
Yes.
It's experience. You go to the game with your dad. It's a long game.
You drive it slowly.
Yeah. You can keep it in the garage. You're kind of just waxing it. You know what I'm saying?
You can take a nap while you're there. It's just
you're behind the wheel. Yes. We shouldn't joke. We shouldn't joke. I'm not making any more car jokes with you because last time, Hefe, I made a joke about the Giants season being like getting hit head on with a truck,
and then I nearly did.
The next couple of days, you said some almost.
Will has a weird gift of predicting shit. Like, so be very careful when he tries to predict something, because
I gotta watch what I say. My words.
Yes,
you should put good vibes out there, not getting hit by trucks.
We'll see what
let's put a bow on the Yankee talk here. Is it World Series or bust, as it always is for you guys? Is this a failure of a season if you win 115 games? And don't win the World Series? Is that what it comes down to always?
Well, I think you made 2 different arguments there. I think it would be more of a disappointment if they win 115 games and didn't win the World Series. I'd feel better if they won 97 games and didn't win the World Series. Right. But it's interesting. I think it's not fair that there is no salary cap in baseball. George Steinbrenner didn't want free agency, but they forced it on him, and he's like, okay, I'm going to do the hell out of it. But given the fact that the Yankees have so much money and given the fact that it's so important, this and that, I hate to say World Series a bust, because in the modern day sports, with so many teams now, the Dodgers and the Mets and the Sox spending all this money and free agents moving back and forth, it would be kind of ridiculous to say World Series or bust. But they've been close enough over the past decade. They've spent enough. They've brought in certain players. I'd be disappointed, but I don't know, man. I'll say this, to be honest. Until they beat the Astros in the postseason, they haven't beaten the Astros in the postseason. Now, granted, we know the Astros were cheating, and it still took them 7 games and 9 innings in that 7 games to beat the Yankees, or maybe even more. But they've got to get over that hump. So you've got those 5 teams right now, kind of, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, Mets, Braves, kind of. We'll see what the Padres do now. I don't know. I don't want to say World Series or bust, but I'm getting sick of being a bridesmaid these last 10 years, which sounds nauseating, I know, to people who have
any other fan base.
Right? Exactly.
High expectations, but listen, we as a New York Revival podcast are rooting for. Listen, I'm a Met fan through and through, but if the Yankees Subway Series,
best case is a Subway and
end of world.
Oh, I don't want a Subway Series.
I do.
Well, yeah, because there's too much pressure on the Yankees.
Too much to lose. There's too much to lose.
Yeah, they have
if the Yankees beat the Mets, okay, big deal. If the Mets beat the Yankees, it's over. It's over. You will not see me. I will be hiding. Yeah. So.
Well, Clem actually from Barstool brought up a good point. He's like, we're cicadas. We come out every 17 years, and you don't want to hear the end. And you don't hear the end of it from us, and then we just die again, and then going back into our hole for another 17 years. But I'm hoping that Cohen's building something new here.
Let me ask Hefe and Eli though: are you guys as pure-hearted as Mr. Glass Half Full. Are you guys like, I was raised to hate the teams that are not my teams.
Yes.
And that stayed with me. And it's a thing. And I think most fans are like that. Are you guys in the sport that you feel the most hardcore for your team, whether it's Giants, whatever it is? Can you also root for the other New York team, you guys?
I have love. No. I have love for the other. I guess I'm different. I hate division rivals.
Yes.
You know, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants are my number one team. So Eagles, Cowboys, that shit makes me go crazy. Like I genuinely hate those teams and their fans, even my friends that are fans of them. But for instance, like when the Jets had like a 2-year run with their AFC championship, like if it's not going to be the Giants, I'm fine if it's the Jets. Just not. I'd rather them than the Eagles or Cowboys. And like I just feel that way about all local teams, especially now with New York Revival. I'd much rather it stay local than go anywhere else.
Yes, we do it for the pod. I want to get that out there for me too.
Listen, let me say
I'm doing this for the pod here. My love for the Yankees is for the pod.
Listen, and I'm rooting for the Mets, etc., for the pod. But you asking me and vibes only, hey, do I have hatred? Damn right. Listen, I'm a Knicks fan. Screw Brooklyn. All right. And while freaking Glass Half Full there was at the bar and the Mets were winning, I couldn't even look at them the entire game. I had to look at him laughing.
No, screw that. Literally in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, he was screaming in the middle of the picture because I was just like upset and disgruntled. No, this is not how it works. I hate the Jets too, but for New York Revival, I love all teams in New York.
See, look at this guy. That's where I'm different. Like if a team is going to win or fans are going to be happy, I'd rather those fans be New York fans than like Houston fans.
I get you that.
Like,
yeah,
I'd rather bring it home. I'd rather keep it here, even if it's not my team.
I feel like so much of our hatred for certain teams though comes from how the fans we associate with that team.
100%.
So family members
there have been teams that I never had hatred before, and then you'll come across one of their fans who gets in your face every single day at work or wherever it is, and then all of a sudden when they win, you're picturing that guy being happy and like, you're like
that's what it was. That's why I never liked the Yankees growing up. All my friends were douchebags about it, especially during the Subway Series. Like it was
very douchey fan base. Very douchey.
Yeah.
I never got that. I never understood that. Like, I'm not saying I don't really rib people. I'm a huge fan of my own team and I can get riled up, but I try to be cordial. Like, I don't play for the Yankees. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't put this team together. So I don't know. I've never really been one to just totally rip on someone until they rip on me first, and then all bets are off.
That is,
Same.
Well, I jokingly, I like to have fun talking shit. You know, like just keep it light, but
like
also
you and I the other night.
Exactly.
Like you and I the other night when you continued to put forth a narrative that is false. That Yankee Stadium is judged. That doesn't count because Yankee Stadium is a sandbox. It's a little league park. And then I showed you the park factor statistic, which shows that year after year, the Yankee Stadium is maybe like the 7th, 8th on average, easiest park to hit home runs in. So it's on the easier side, but it's not anywhere near the very top. Yet no one complains about other stadiums, but Yankee Stadium, it's like, oh, nothing counts there. You could sneeze and the ball goes out. So I had to give it you and I.
I had to give you shit, but
I did see.
I deal with Philly fans too, and they're little fucking bandbox up there in Philly, down there in Philly.
By the way, that is my agenda now because I do get very possessive of the Yankees. It's like I don't have any kids that I know about, and it is. They're like my sports teams are like my children, and I defend them like as if someone was attacking them. So I'm warning everybody who follows me already, or if you're going to start following me based on this awesome performance that the four of us are putting together, you're going to get super sick of me because as the season's going on, as Judge's home run total goes higher and higher, and people are going to be more and more the haters, like it doesn't count, it's a small stadium. I am going to keep resending that damn tweet about the park factors. I've been hitting up Michael K. I've been hitting up David Cohn. I'm like, leave my baby alone.
Listen.
What does he end up with? He's on pace for 67 home runs right now. I don't know. What do you?
I'm
what
saying
do you guys
64.
Think?
64 is my number.
You think so, huh?
Yes.
Pressure, all that stuff.
he seems like he's
Hasn't
so like
gotten to him
aloof
yet,
about that
yeah.
kind of stuff that's something that's not going to get to him. You know,
right.
and I could be making that up.
We should put our wagers right.
Yes.
We should do this right now.
Noted. Everybody's going to put a little number on it. Everybody get a number on it. We're gonna record this and put it down. Maybe we'll talk about what the payout is afterwards, but let's all put a number on it.
We all have to put in the number. We all have to pay the number he
Here.
ended up with in dollars
Ooh.
for the winner.
What does he have?
Done.
43.
What?
Put in $43. Is that where he is right now?
Yes.
No. We don't all have to. Wait, I don't get what you're saying, Hef.
I thought you said you have to put in the amount of money that you're guessing.
No, of course not. Then I'd be like 1. However many he ends up hitting is what everybody pays the person who was closest.
Oh,
yes to the final right, the winner.
Right.
Let's go. All right, I got 64. So, Eli, what you got? He's got 43. 40 what? I mean,
he's got 43. I think I haven't been watching the game right now.
Nothing tonight
on the podcast, but I think he's on pace for 67.
Wow.
I say he hits a magical 61.
I thought you were going to say a magical other number in the 60s, but let's keep it clean.
60. The 60.
You think he goes 61 and just turns the whole debate into a whole other level of a match?
That would just be so fitting, wouldn't it?
I say 63, man. 63.
63. Okay.
63.
Yeah, 63, 61, 63, and 64. What you got? Will?
I think he said it.
No, I didn't.
No?
Sarge said it.
He said it.
Leave it Sarge. I love it.
Now, what is it like? What if I say 65 and it's 66? Do I win or no?
It's Price is Right rules. I think it's what closest without going over. Right. So you basically get anything above me.
I'm gonna open up the psychology here for a second that we can.
Let's get better with it.
Here's the psychology. I am always a person who likes to temper my expectations because I hate the feeling of getting really excited about something and having it not happen. Like last time when I thought Eli was going to be on. And so I automatically start thinking of like ways where it's not going to happen. And that's where my mind goes. But no. So I'm just going to be Yankee fan, obnoxious, and I'm going to say.
Let's go. Full in.
I'll go 65. I'll go 65.
Okay.
Why not? Just to take the high, I'll take 60.
You know, cheap win. It's a cheap win. I'll allow it though.
I really want to change. I really want to change the 62.
Do it. So you get that number. Let's do spot on. And if nobody gets it, if he goes over,
would that give us the full gambit? 61,
61 through 64.
Yeah. And there is no Price is Right crap.
Give me 62.
Yeah, right.
62.
And then if he goes over, then we all just we go out and have drinks on our,
just do that.
and then have a night on the town.
Like this.
How about we have a little bit of? How about we have a little bit of fun before we change to Giants?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Hefe.
I mean, I'm insulted that you didn't think this was fun so far. Again,
well, baseball was baseball. Let's have some fun now.
Jeff hasn't laughed at me since I said he looked like a questionable karate instructor.
Yo, he's been quiet.
It shook him. It shook him deep down.
I keep thinking of Napoleon Dynamite and that dude in the American flag pants.
Yes.
Yes. Love you, Hefe. Love you, buddy.
Good God.
I do want to correct my statement. Last time I said former funny man Will Presti, and clearly he's a future funny man because he's still working on his craft. And I think he will be funny. I think he will be funny one day.
Look at that.
Love it.
No, I don't go. Who are your names? Eli and Spiro. If you want to check the Twitter chat, I sent the quick hitters if you guys want to alternate, but I'll kick it off. Okay.
No, do your thing. Do your thing. Unfortunately, technical difficulties.
All over the place.
Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing.
Well, real quick, this isn't even. I just thought of it because you're talking about how your sports teams are your children. So, which sports team is your favorite child?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Football is my favorite sport, but I've thought about this before. I cannot decide between the Yankees and the Giants.
Okay.
And the Rangers have really been a good kid lately.
Stock is on.
Yes.
The Knicks, I'm not even sure they're
on the head.
The Knicks look a lot like the mailman. I don't know.
They're the redheaded stepchild.
But so yeah, Yankees, Giants because it's football, but Yankees, I've said this before, again, not to make everyone else throw up. When you're a Yankee fan, there's so much history. There's so much lineage. It's just like, it's almost like a religion. It's just a kind of different feel. So it's a tie between those two.
All right, fair. Okay, this next question I actually asked Clem from Barstool too, and I feel like it's a really important question to get to know somebody. So I'll ask you as well. Would you rather date a figure skater or a volleyball player?
I can hear my dad saying volleyball player for the height for your sons. I'll say this. I would probably be more attracted to the figure skater.
Okay.
So just my general, I think, I don't want to get into the logistics.
Quick follow-up question. And what if they were female?
I was gonna say, are we talking women here? And then I said, oh wait, what's the date? It's 2022. Nope, 10 years past that date. Can't do that one.
Can't make that joke anymore.
By the way, I'm staying on this pod all night because the Yankees are just hitting home runs right now.
Okay,
Rizzo and Donaldson and all this stuff.
I can't get off soon enough because the Mets are sucking again. So see you guys later.
Wait, hold up. Is DeGrom pitching right now?
He was, and he did great. And then the bullpen came. The bullpen that we didn't add pieces to, that bullpen ruined the game for him. Yep. So that's
so it's all over because tonight it didn't work. Just relax. It's going to be okay.
Hey, listen.
It's okay.
I'm getting it off my chest now.
You know what's funny,
happy later.
You know what's funny, Spiro? I was going to go, relax. It's fine. You'll lose in the NLCS. And then I said to myself, wait a minute. This isn't just like a conversation. This is filmed. And that'll come back to bite me. So I'm not going to say.
You can't wait. It's all on record, baby.
Nah,
I don't know. We also have it for audio too. So we have it on audio and on video. All over the place.
He can just text you that audio clip whenever he feels like it.
Spotify, thank you.
I can't say the sentence the Mets could win the World because it's like Mufasa from Lion King. but it could
say it again.
They've got a shot that a few.
We got Uncle Stevie now, baby. We got Uncle Stevie, and we're here to stay, hopefully. But
it looks pretty promising for them right now. Hefe, I know I'm ruining the format of quick hits.
Yes.
Go. One word answer.
Get back on track here. I got one for you.
Okay.
All right. So listen, Will, you seem like a pretty well-rounded guy, but there's got to be something in that closet of yours that you're not good at. What is the thing that you are just not good at, and you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to try this anymore because this ain't me. What's that one thing in Will Presti's life?
He is struggling to find something.
I know. He's like,
he's like, oh, this could take a while. Wow.
I would say apparently humility, because I can't think of anything. No, I like bite my nails. I stay up too late. I never want to go to bed. I stay up too late.
That's not what we're looking for. What is something you have tried that you were not good at?
Like, are you bad at golf? Are you never going to play golf again?
I'll tell you a good golf story. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a temperament for golf. I was always like a helmet sport guy. I wanted to hit people and things. You know what I'm saying? It was lacrosse. It was football. Sometimes I'd wear a helmet playing ping pong.
Just in class.
I'm like, where's he going with this? Because I know he's not serious.
I couldn't think of anything good. So. No, but funny story about golf. This is kind of shows that I'm okay. I was golfing with some friends, and I get really that first tee off. I get all nervous. There's too many moving parts. There's too many moving parts. My hands, my this, that. So they're all waiting for me to go. I'm teeing off first, and I swing and completely. This is college. I completely miss the ball. Completely miss the ball.
Practice swing.
Guys, girls watching me. As this happens, a group of kids happened to be going by and they yelled out like, "You suck!" Right? Now, it was almost simultaneous. I know that it had nothing to do with me missing the ball, but everybody there was like, "Oh, they got you!" I was like, "Oh man, they got me so bad! Oh man, they screwed me!" And everyone was like having this huge laugh.
It was definitely the kids.
It was a split second later, but it was imperceptible to them. So I was like saved. God gave me a second chance. The next ball that I hit, when I finally hit it again, was the best golf shot I've ever hit.
Piped it.
And I'm like, oh, those crazy kids. It saved me.
I love the talking in the backswing, and it only bothers me when I hit a bad shot. only bothers me when I hit a bad shot. Guys, come on! I need silence
for
here.
Mediocre golfers. It's a great excuse to get another shot.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm blaring music the whole time.
Yeah. I've been golfing. I went golfing with a buddy of mine from college who actually golfed, and halfway through he was kind of like when I threw my club for the fourth time, he was like, "This might not be. I don't want to golf with Will again." So
this may not be your game. I've seen this question asked. I'm actually curious if the guys have answers to this too. But what actor do you think would play you in a movie?
I'll just go with lookalikes that I've gotten, I guess would make sense. People that say I've heard a couple of guys that have played Superman. I'm not saying I'm Superman, but I've gotten a couple of people, whether it's
there's a humility
thing. But no, Josh Hartnett, I've heard people say I look like, and when the Twilight movies were out, everybody was telling, all these middle-aged women were coming up to me telling me I look like Taylor Lautner.
Oh, you must have been raking it in at that point, man. Right?
Business was good. Business was good.
So, I don't know who would play me in a movie.
Some good names right there. You know what? Nobody ever says somebody that was like a lackluster, a lackluster actor. It's always
or someone much fatter than them. Nobody ever says that.
I mean, maybe Meryl Streep. She can do it all.
Yeah,
she could. If anyone could pull it off.
I actually heard Meryl Streep curse, drop an F-bomb once in person, which was interesting. I had written some comedy for the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation was having their annual gala, and they had all these celebrity presenters that wanted me to write their speeches, to make them kind of funny, almost like an Oscars kind of presentation. So the hosts were Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin, and I wrote a bit for them, and I was backstage with them, and then I heard I'll call her Meryl. I heard I call it Mare. Mare the Care Bear. We have a lot of pet names. So Sesame Streep, a couple things. So I heard her say to, by the way, you went to Sesame Town or whatever, and then you're going to the Giants camp tomorrow. It'll be the first time in many years, hopefully, that you can distingush between the two places.
Oh,
Giants camp has been like freaking Sesame Street, probably.
You nailed it.
Meryl Streep was like,
Will's on fire right now.
Alec Baldwin was like, why don't you call me anymore? Why don't we get together? And then Meryl Streep was like, well, pick up your effing phone once in a while. And I was
that's great.
Oh my God, Meryl Streep. But
I wish I had that on record.
She's pretty bald. Is bawdy a word? I think she's pretty. Bawdy is another one of those old timey words you don't hear anymore.
Sounds, yes. 1930s. Yes, it was last heard in 1930s.
So Will, let me ask you this, Will, for the people that don't know what you do. What do you do? All right. What's some of the things? I see you write some comedy for shows, etc. But for all the people, man, let's give them a little synopsis of what you do. So
I have done a lot of different things. It's kind of hard to say. Right now, I work for a company.
He's a Renaissance man.
What'd you say?
He's a Renaissance man.
I think he said he's a Red Sox fan. I was about to be out of here.
What did you just say?
I'm done.
Say that one more time.
Red shirt. Just saying.
So, yeah. No, this is actually, I got this shirt. It's an old timey late night with Jimmy Fallon shirt. I got this when I got accepted to this thing called the NBC Late Night Writers Workshop, where they had
there we go. This is right into it.
Yeah,
we'll get right into it, guys. Let's go.
NBC had this thing. You got to, I don't want to sit here and talk about myself. It's kind of weird. But yes, it's a thing called the Late Night Writers Workshop. It's got a decent amount of prestige in it, and so I was selected to that back in the day. So I've done I've done stand-up comedy. I've written comedy. I've contributed to some shows. I contributed to Late Night with our Late Show with David Letterman, and another late night show that I'm not really supposed to talk about. Because it's just kind of
it's that ghostwriter credit. It's that ghostwriter credit.
Yeah, something like that. And I've written comedy and like the What Guys Are Thinking section in Cosmo and In Touch Weekly and stuff like that. I've worked for sports memorabilia companies. I worked for Steiner Sports. I worked for some of those kinds of things. Right now, I'm actually a creative, on the marketing team, writing different kinds of copy and different kind of marketing for a company called Roosevelt's. I don't know if you're familiar with Roosevelt's, RSVLTS. They do a bunch of kind of fun clothing and stuff. Actually, they kind of blew up a few years ago because Aaron Judge wore a Sandlot shirt from Roosevelt's. So
Yeah.
that kind of got a lot of recognition. So yeah, it's been a lot of different hosting, writing, usually comedy driven. And but the number one thing on my resume is obviously being on this podcast.
Yes, it goes right to the top right there. Right to the top.
Yes.
I love it, baby.
One more last question. One more last question.
Also, I have to put one pothead, which is the pod that I do from time to time, which is the
Big
Blue podcast. We're gearing up for the next season of Giants, but there you go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Round of applause. Well, just what's the worst heckler you had to deal with when you're doing a stand-up show? Like, what's someone that's like, man, he's getting to me.
If
you had to.
Funnily enough, the worst was someone that I have found, and I haven't done like tons of a professional stand-up would probably be like this guy, but like I've done it enough where I've gotten to know what that's like a little bit, but it really hasn't been a problem. But that sounded like I get heckled. I've never really been heckled. I've never been heckled, but what I'm trying to get at is the worst of the people that just talk loud while you're doing a set. And so I had this one woman who was trying to help me out, even though I was doing fine. She was in the front row. She was wasted. And that's always what it is. They're wasted.
Always,
and she thinks she's part of the act.
Yeah.
And so she's going yes, that is so true. Yes, absolutely. And she's trying to finish my jokes for me. And at some point I was just okay, I said, ma'am, settle down. And that got a huge round of applause. I knew she'd been doing it all night because just telling her to calm down was enough to make everybody erupt. But yeah, so I find that was really the worst. It's just people talking loud and drunk, and that's really the worst thing. Because what do you say to that? If someone says something to you, you can give them you can give it to them back. But if someone's just loud,
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
One time I was hosting the Oscars and I got slapped by Will Smith. That happened.
How's your face, man? Is it all right?
It's okay. That's why I had to grow this little patchy thing out.
Yeah, right.
I see. Maybe
somebody, by the way. That's something I don't get. There's been a lot of slapping.
Gangster slap.
It's more gangster slap. When I was growing up, if you had a problem with someone, I never would think to open my hand. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, no, I was about to give you a story. We are live. I'll tell you off the air. But no, slap is very disrespectful. Yes. So sometimes when someone's getting on your nerves, you gotta give a little smack,
Okay.
It's kind of disrespectful. Yeah, that's just what it is. You got to give a little slap,
I got you.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
The last time I was slapped in the face is when Eli bailed on me. And we weren't
Well, I'm here today. Thank God. Thank you, man. Thank you, brother.
I love you, Eli. As much as I give it to you, that just means I love you more. I just
thank you, man.
You got another quick hit for me that I can tell a 3-hour long story
super quick hit. This is we are just about at 90 minutes now. I feel like this one's kind of relevant because we just heard. I mean, I just learned half the shit that you do, and I think I kind of want to have your resume rather than mine. But have you had your "I've made it" moment yet?
That's a good question. I would say I am still. This is going to get a little deep, but I'm still trying to. I don't think I've figured out exactly what the life goal is. I'm still navigating. So to sit there and say that was the moment, I've had a couple of moments in sports, growing up, high school, college, or when you first get a recruiting, playing football, lacrosse, and you get your first recruiting letter to your house. And it's from a college you maybe dreamt about going to. That's for sports. That's that kind of moment. Or graduating or something, or, finishing a senior thesis. That's the kind of moment. Or having a great set. It's okay, for comedy, that is that moment. But I wouldn't say that. I think I'll have that maybe more when I'm yes, this is who I am. This is what I'm meant to do. And that was the moment where I made it. So if that makes any sense.
It does. Keep spinning those different plates and keep doing all the things you're good at and wait till one of them hits or you realize it along the way, but just keep going.
Yeah.
Facts. Those are big facts, man.
So before we wrap up with Will here, let's get some Giants talk here, man. Giants training camp. He just wiped his. That's funny as hell. Anyway,
you guys got me all Oprah. Have you reached your goal?
He just wiped. Hilarious. What? Let's get to some Giants news. The Giants are back. Training camps going full swing. And there's been some reports there about Daniel Jones where he's having a bad camp, but then there's some that say he has some good days as well. So just give me your thoughts. What's your expectation of the Giants season with the whole new coaching staff and the new GM?
Cautious optimism. Excited to see it.
That's the phrase. That's a phrase we hate.
Yeah, right. Why you can't use that no more? Can't use that no more. Shout out to LPG.
Yeah, it started with LPG. So like we felt this way before that, but he basically says like cautiously optimistic is like you're protecting yourself against anything great happening, and you're kind of half expecting shitty things to happen at the same time. Yeah. So like you're protecting yourself, but that's the opposite of being a fanatic. You want to
well, you know, Hefe, you and I would never be friends in the wild because you brag about how you're overly always like, this is it, we're doing it, and I'm always like making sure to keep myself in check. Yes. So I don't know, or maybe we'd make a great sitcom couple. I don't know.
Maybe.
But for me,
we'll talk.
I look at the Giants, and the reality is I see about 7 wins. There's things I'm excited about. I'm more excited to have Thomas and Neal than I've been in a while. I'm more excited for the potential of Thibodeau than I've been in a while for things. I am it's make or break for Jones. There will probably be no more wishy-washy after this year, which might sound like a loserish thing to say. It could be a good thing to look forward to, that we at least know what the future looks like there. Tony, Kenny, if he stays healthy, I'm very excited. Wan'Dale Robinson, what could he potentially do? So, but I think that there's enough ups and downs and learning curves. You know how I feel about Daniel Jones. I've said it a million times. Like I was thinking about it today. I think there are this is rough numbers. At any given time, there's probably 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that because of that quarterback, the team will have a shot to win the Super Bowl every year. And there's probably 5 teams or so that because of their quarterback, they have no shot to ever win a Super Bowl. And then you've got 20 teams, and you got 20 teams where the quarterback, you know, you could pull a Flacco, you could pull a Garoppolo, got to the Super Bowl. Like you have it depending on the team around you. You know, you could potentially make a run like Eli, but he had that magic factor we've talked about, right? I think Jones falls into that category. You know, I've said it a million times. You can win games with him. I'm not sure he's going to win you games. I do think, for lack of a more sophisticated term, and this is going to sound more negative than I mean it to be, but it just sometimes I think there's like these. It's going to sound bad.
Bring
it. Yeah, bring it.
It's not that you're going to be underwhelmed by how
we're not live. We're not live.
You're going to be underwhelmed at how you're going to be underwhelmed at how like non-offensive this word is. But like just like bonehead things that he does like throughout the game. I feel like
we've said much worse.
I know. But it's funny. My mom watches these, and she goes, I'm really proud of you. She's like, you never curse.
Keep it clean. I like it.
You know, it's funny. Real quick side note: I send my mom the videos that I make, no matter what filthy joke is in there or how I curse. I send it to her every time, and she's like, "Can you not curse in the next one?" I can send it to my friend.
I was actually going to mention that because mom. Hefe also, I know. He sends them to my mom too, which I find inappropriate.
Yes,
I find it highly inappropriate.
He hates when I watch the video.
Highly inappropriate. She's like, I gotta go. It's Hefe. He's got a new video. I'm like, what's happening right now?
Why are you putting your headphones?
What's happening? What is this?
So anyway, when it comes to the Giants, there are things this year, specific players and building blocks that I am more excited about than I have been probably since like Saquon's rookie year. We wanted to see what he could do. You know what I mean? But overall, I'm not 100% sure that the outcome is going to be, a glorious one by the end of the year. But I think we're kind of aren't we all in the 7-win
everything
range?
you said is exactly spot on. Like we've said
absolutely.
time and again, like 7 wins is the most realistic scenario. I think anything less than that, I think is a complete failure based on the upgrading of the O-line, the modern offense. You have a quarterback in his fourth year quarterback. You are so far from being a rookie. I know you had a shit track record and like everything against you basically, but you did have 3 full years of experience at this point. So like at this point you should be figuring out the league and how to play, or you're not, and you're not the guy. But I'm with you. I pretty much agreed with everything that you said. And one guy you touched on real quick, and I'm jumping back on. I am so excited for this guy this year. And I know Saquon Barkley is a sensitive topic for a lot of fans. You can debate all night if it was a horrible draft pick, and maybe it was, but the Giants could still be good even if they picked Saquon Barkley. I say that time and time again. 1,000 decisions were made that went into the Giants being the worst team in the NFL, along with the Jets over the last several years. And it wasn't Saquon Barkley. It wasn't drafting a great football player earlier than you should have. But I am excited, and I think it does have a 10-win potential because the schedule is soft. I don't care if people say you can't look at the schedule. I think the second half of the season, once they really start getting comfortable, I see it being a rough start, to be honest with you. Like, definitely, I don't want to say definitely. It just reeks of a 1-2 start at best. Like,
when was the last time we didn't have that?
Exactly, and I just think
I think everybody will sign up for that. Honestly.
I think they might be like at a 3-6 point, and then actually start to piece wins together and creep back to 500, and actually probably go 500 from there on. Like, I could see them getting to 10 wins if a couple of those games every year. There's a handful of games that are decided by 1 or 2 big plays. So if they're on the right side of those, like we were in 2016 when we went 11-5, we were on the right side of all of those coin flips.
Yes,
and that's the difference between making the playoffs and not a lot of time.
And that's where I felt because I have been more positive, I would say, slightly more positive on Jones than negative since he's come into the league. I did not like the pick, and I've soured on him lately. I was higher on him in the first 2 years, really pushed for him, tried to look at advanced stats that showed that he was had potential. But the thing that started really worrying me last year, there were 4 or 5 games where the Giants were in the game, and in a crucial moment, at a crucial time in the game, he made a mistake, fumbling a snap, throwing a terrible pick, something where he was integral in them losing. It wasn't like the Giants lost it. It was like in those moments where the quarterback has it or doesn't have it, I thought it started to show trend last year to show that he might struggle in those spots, which I think is the biggest. It's got the physical talent, but I just wonder about those types of plays. So, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Well, listen, Daniel Jones has to be that quarterback to help the team and not hurt it. It's just, can he overcome those hurdles this season? And I think if you give me his rookie numbers, I think we'll sign up for that. You know what I mean? I think that'll be a damn good reason to kind of, and I hate to say it this way because I know we're going to get hell for it, but they'll sign him for that. They'll sign him to like a 3-year deal and figure it out from there. You know what I mean? Because, again, a 4-year quarterback, now you got to go backwards into a rookie, into a draft. Because if we're expecting them to win 10 games, they're out of the quarterback hunt for that next draft, right? Let's be honest. And plus, there's really no quarterbacks coming out this year or next year anyway. There's really not really on paper until the next following probably. So let's be honest. So I think they'll sign up for that, knowing what they have in Daniel Jones and knowing that they can win games. Hey, let's do a 3-year deal where we can get out of it by year 2 and we'll figure it out. But if you give me Daniel Jones rookie numbers, I'm taking that to the bank. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's sign him. Let's figure it out. And let's see if we can put more seasons together where we're winning football, football games. So, sign me up, man. I don't know. I think Daniel Jones is going to put it together. I'm not particularly a fan of Daniel Jones. But I think he puts it together this season, and we'll have to figure it out. I say 10 wins, man. 10-9 wins.
I think it's going to be Daniel Jones. Exactly. He's going to give you enough to want to believe in him, and then enough that drives you effing crazy.
And they missed the last 2 games, and you're just like, wait, just if you could have just shown me one or 2 more games, I would have been more confident.
Right.
And he just leaves you wanting more all the time.
Do you guys feel like we're going to be sitting here 10 years from now? All gray. I'm being like, I don't know, man. I think he's shown us just enough. It's year 14 with him.
Everyone knows.
After this year, I think we're really going to know.
Right. Now that he's 35, I think he puts it all together.
Saquon's got a big year coming up.
If it's like that, I think this year where we still don't know enough and he's still doing the same things, then you got to go, all right, he's not the guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if he gives you those numbers in his rookie season, because after his rookie season, we were like, oh, we got our quarterback. You know what I mean? So I think if he puts it together then, I think we can say, okay, let's try another year. I think we can extend him for at least a year, franchise, whatever you want to do. There's so many options what we can do for Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? So I say we try that again. But if he stinks it up like the last 3 years or whatever it was, we're going to be like, nah, we're done figuring this out. We're not going to say, well, what if the next year? No, let's get a new guy in here and let's figure this out and go
Worst case scenario, just 2 quick points. Worst case scenario is that purgatory where we still kind of don't know. You'd rather it's like, okay, he came out, he had some tackles, he had some talent, people stayed healthy, and boom, there's a 10-win season. He threw for, 4,000, whatever it is. Or he's terrible. He's awful. There's a good quarterback class probably coming up. We got new coaches, new GM. They're going to want to get their own guy. You get a nice quarterback. You start from there. We still have enough young talent where you can build. A lot of our foundation is still young. You can build around a young quarterback. So that purgatory that we're talking about, that 7-ish wins might be kind of worst case scenario, even though it might be the most likely scenario. But I have to kind of defend you a little bit because I say the same thing. I always bring up the schedule, and I know something. Me and my dad are huge fans. We've been talking sport, like that's where my sports love, a lot of it comes from. And he hates when I bring up the schedule. He hates it. He thinks it's like for losers, just play your game. And I'm always like, but
it matters.
Your team is only 50% of the equation. Your team is only 50% of the equation. Yes. If you do everything right, every single thing you do only accounts for half of the outcome of the game. So the team you play absolutely does matter. As a matter of fact, Spiro, when the Mets were really hot, I looked ahead. I was getting a little nervous, and they had a 13-game stretch against some really tough opponents. And I said, I bet they go about 500 through this stretch. And they did go about 500 through that stretch. And I was kind of like, I was like,
it matters.
Dad, you see? I'm like, are you proud of me now, Dad? I told you.
Now you love
me. You never came to my games. No.
It's true.
Not like that. Quite the opposite. My parents were like those gung-ho sports parents. But anyway,
it's awesome.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and that's why, it's everybody hates predictions and all these, but it gets you. That's part of being a fan, man. Like, you look ahead, you want to know, hey, what games can I get to? What games can I, and then B, just ballpark it. Like, hey, I know we're a bad team, but hey, the Detroit Lions are also bad. The Houston Texans are also bad. And whoever else, we got some teams that are worse off than us or just the same. And it just gives you a little bit of hope that they could put something together here and. Maybe give us an exciting season to watch,
We got everything we wanted, right? So now it's just kind of sit back and relax. We got a new coach. We got a new GM outside the organization that's not familiar with how the Giants way goes and John Mara. We got everything we want. Now it's literally just wait until they put it together. This is a project. Even if we get 7 wins, 6 wins, even if we go 0-17, we got to just sit here and kind of watch it. We got to sit here and go, well, hey, we got to trust the process. We got to rebuild. We got what we wanted. We got to take it year by year at this point. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Do you get to any games there, Will? Or do you get to any games during the season?
I don't go to as many sports. I don't go to many sports games.
You're not a big live guy.
It's funny. I think we've just become. I would. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just don't. I've been kicked. I'm not allowed in stadiums.
Day.
I got kicked out.
Kicked out of all of them.
No, I think.
Are you in New York, Will? Or
yeah, I'm in Bayside now. I've lived in Long Island. I've lived in Manhattan, so the Garden's no problem. But you know what it's like driving or going
out to Jersey,
the Bronx and all that stuff, and then. I don't know. It's clearer watching it on an HD TV than it is watching it in person.
I feel way less lines for the bathroom.
The food doesn't cost as much.
Cheaper beers.
We can walk around naked. You can't do that at the stadiums anymore.
Not anymore.
Nudity at the stadiums, which I don't know what that's about.
Okay, ever since we moved out of Giant Stadium, man.
The only place I was never naked at was the Ranger game because of the cold. It wasn't a good look. But,
gets it all.
I got to say this, though. I think as a Giants fan, and I think you'll know what I mean when I say this. I never want to be excited about the draft again. I never want to care. I never cared. The fact that I care this much about the draft means we're that bad all the time. I don't think the Patriots and these other teams that are up there. I think who'd we get? What position? Oh, okay, cool. Because they're good already. They're just plugging pieces in. My favorite thing of the night so far, by the way, Spiro, was the way you pronounce Detroit. You don't hear enough of that these days. I love the hard D.
The hard D.
Detroit.
Oh, God.
You always got
it. Pause. Pause. You just caught yourself. And on that note,
that is going to be the best drop ever.
And on that note,
did you see the confidence and authority? I love a hard D.
Yeah, love the hard D. It's just always it's just solid. No,
it was going so good, fellas.
It was so good.
It was going so good. And I had to you know what? There it is. Yeah.
No, I just always on top.
So guys, you got anything else for Will?
We're both R-rated. Mine was at least.
Yes, I know. He's just the best.
You guys got anything else for real before we wrap it up?
Listen,
what else could I
Will,
say?
Plug your podcast one more time. Tell us where to find it. You know, like, let's go.
So,
get it out there.
The podcast is Bleed Big Blue. That's me and Marco and sometimes my friend Jack. I'm just, on Twitter. It's at Will Presti. And most of my takes is fun. I used to do like explicitly comedy. And then I just started getting so into fandom like online that I was just like, my tweets are all like New York sports based now. And I think I've just lost I've like alienated all the people who came to me for comedy to begin with. You know what I mean? So I'll throw a joke in once in a while.
You still pepper in the humor. I like it.
I pepper it. It's awesome. A decent mix because you know what? It's not just sports.
It's entertainment.
Look at this guy.
So this is why they pay the big bucks.
I'm just trying to suck up to you guys so that you edit out the hard D.
How about that note?
If Judge hits 62 home runs, I don't want the money from you. I don't want the $180 whatever dollars. I want you just to cut the hard D comment out.
Okay.
Yes.
Done.
My mom's gonna be so disappointed in me. And so is my dad, but that's another topic.
Right.
Story.
You've managed to disappoint them both with one comment.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. No,
definitely not. So before we leave, everyone's gonna be at FanFest. I hope, Will, that you're there. You're gonna be at FanFest this Friday. Would love to see you there if you got some time, brother.
Probably not. He hates the stadium.
We'll see what happens. I don't know if after the hard D drop, I'll be able to show my face.
You can't show your face. You gotta go and hide it for a little bit.
We'll talk. We'll see what happens. But I'd love to. I guess a good goal would be to get to a game this year. So we'll see what happens. I haven't been to a game in a couple. So yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be awesome, man. And listen, on behalf of our special guest, Will Presti, and of course on behalf of my guy El Jefe and Mr. Glass Half Full, speed if you nasty now. Your boy Eli Rax, aka Vibe. This is New York Revival. We're not the sports, it's entertainment. Thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us. We'll see you guys next week. Be well.
Thank you guys for having me, by the way. Thank you very much for having me.
Love you, Will.
Thank you, Will. Love you, brother.